I'm in Prague, which is the capital of the Czech Republic, also now more recently known as Czechia. The term you shouldn't use, or the name you shouldn't use, is Czechoslovakia. This hasn't been Czechoslovakia since the early 90s. Those two countries split. So either Czechia or Czech Republic. I do tend to find that a lot of the locals do prefer the name Czech Republic. There's a lot of history there, and they do enjoy that, but Czechia is the official name. So be cognizant of that when you're visiting. Also, this is Central Europe, so you should refer to this location. If you look at the map, this is really at the heart of Europe. It's Central Europe. It's not Eastern Europe, not Western Europe. Really is close to a lot of other countries. In terms of the money, they're on the Czech crown. It is surrounded by a lot of euro currency, but they do have the Czech crown here. Typically, in relation to the dollar, typically somewhere between 20 and 25 crowns per dollar. Very easy to use. Most of the time you can use just a credit card. You can tap to pay at almost all places you visit. There will be some places that will require cash. Usually they post that information pretty publicly, so it's usually easy to spot those places. So I do recommend that you have a small amount of cash on hand in Czech crowns so that you can pay if you're at a restaurant that doesn't accept credit cards. But again, most places you can probably go days or weeks without needing cash. In terms of the language, they speak Czech. It is very helpful to learn a few common phrases. Dobrý den is the welcome, the greeting. So when you enter a shop or you meet someone, you can say Dobrý den. Prosím is please. Děkuji is thank you. And there may be a few other phrases you want to pick up so that you can show people that you're trying to learn a little bit of the culture, a little bit of the language. When you're leaving a place, the phrase nashledano is common. So those are, if you pick up at least those 4 terms or phrases, that's going to really help you on your visit here to Prague or Czechia. If you have the time, I would also recommend trying to leave the city for a day, do a day trip somewhere. Karlštejn is amazing. It's a castle where they kept the crown jewels. Only 30 or 45 minutes by train. Český is a great place for hiking, and many other smaller towns or cities, natural areas that you can visit that are within proximity to Prague for a great day trip, just to give you some flavor of Czechia outside of the capital city of Prague. In terms of lodging here in Prague, my recommendation is to stay close to the city center, Old Town, but not too close. There are many bars and clubs that do stay open very late, and so if you're looking for some peace and quiet, staying a little bit outside is a good thing to consider. I find personally that typically a 10 to 15 minute walk is the range that I want to stay in, so that I can access the locations that I know I want to visit, but I'm also a little bit further away from most of the action, particularly the nightlife. I also would highly recommend their public transit, one of the best in the world. The metros, the trams, the buses are all well connected, very short headways. Typically 5 to 8 minutes is as long as you'll wait. If you barely miss the tram or the metro or the bus, usually you're going to wait 5 minutes or less, so it's very quick even if you miss just one that just left. And especially if you arrive to the airport here, I highly recommend you take public transit. There's a bus that connects to the metro or a tram. Probably the most affordable airport transfer I've ever experienced, under a couple of dollars to get from the airport to the city center. So a great value for the money and very simple to do as well. I would also recommend trying to visit the sites at off-peak times, and even during the week if you can. So a lot of the sites, more popular sites, particularly Old Town Square, Charles Bridge, and the castle, are going to be very busy during the day and particularly on weekends. So if you can come early in the morning or late in the evening, even on a weekend, you're going to find those places much less crowded. It's probably going to be a much more enjoyable experience for you. And if you can make it on a weekday, that's going to be even better. You're going to see much smaller crowds and have much more room to move around and see everything there is to see in those locations. In terms of restaurants, I would highly recommend trying the daily menu. Many restaurants will have this daily menu, and what it's meant for is 2 to 5 entrees that are at a reduced price relative to the rest of the menu, so limited selection, but really good value for your money, typically $4 to $8 US per entree. and usually they're going to serve it very quickly. So if you're on a tight time schedule, you can actually go to a really great restaurant, a sit-down restaurant, and if you order the daily menu, usually it's going to come pretty quickly and you can get on your way with the rest of your day. Overall, I find that Prague really has something for everyone. If you're into art, you can find paintings here, you can find sculptures here, a lot of new contemporary things, a lot of historical works of art as well. If you like food, I think it's fantastic for food. Lots of options to try, very affordable. I think you'll really enjoy it from that perspective. History maybe is the strongest component. 20th century European history, a lot of it converged on the Czech Republic. So you can learn a lot of European history through the history of the Czech Republic and here in Prague. Great museums, great walking tours, great sites, a lot to learn and educate yourself about 20th century history and beyond. Prior to that as well, lots of great information and history here in Prague and in the Czech Republic. If you like music, there's that as well, and I did mention previously nightlife. So a lot to do here in Prague. I think no matter what your tastes are or what your interests are when you travel, you're going to be able to find that here in Prague.